And we are live.
Were you busy talking again?
No.
Oh.
No. Hold on.
I thought maybe you were busy yammering away and we couldn't hear a single word of it. And then you just realized it.
I just random things that show up on my Twitter feed that make me laugh, like this. And you just have to let it play.
I don't get it.
It's a Wii, because it's going down to go.
So stupid.
Wii!
So
stupid. Okay.
See?
We're probably going to get a copyright hit. But anyways. Sorry, I had to listen to it in order to get it. And we're live, so when I hit...
I didn't hear it.
Well, you didn't hear it because I'm not sharing sound with you.
Everybody
on the stream would have heard it. But in order for me to hear it, I had to turn on the volume, and then which played the music, which may cause a copyright claim. You can't monetize this video, and I'm like, well, I couldn't monetize it in the first place.
Word.
So, bully for them.
You can now.
Okay.
Sorry. I think it's it's one of his songs, and this is probably how it starts.
You have not heard that song before?
I can't. Okay.
You're not a Smashing Pumpkins fan,
right? I don't know it from that one word.
Not even the music?
I have probably heard it before, but realize I don't listen to them that often. One, two.
I don't remember the song title, but I recognize the song.
Like I recognize it ish, but I don't recognize the song or the title off the top of my head. It's probably somewhere buried in my musical
you're just not a Smashing Pumpkins fan. That's all.
Also true, but
I don't think it matters.
But it's somewhere in the back of my mind. So I've heard the song before.
No, Skype, I don't want to take a snapshot. Jesus fucking Christ, shut up.
But
don't press the snapshot button.
But
I'm trying not to. It's telling me that that's what's there.
Do you want to take a snapshot?
No.
Do you want to take a snapshot?
Sorry, it's been a day, and I'm tired. I'll be honest with y'all. I literally got home at 2 a.m.
Okay. And how much sleep did you get?
Maybe 6 hours.
Okay. Went to bed at 6, back up at 10 after 10. Because I'm busy working on a thing. I'll get to it in this episode. Speaking of which, are we ready to start? So I'm like, if anyone's sleep deprived, delusional, and silly, it's probably going to be me. But
I'm the only one with decent. I'm the only one with decent sleep.
I'm not going to get decent sleep for a couple weeks right now, and I'm not happy about that.
The teacher shared.
Fact.
I'm Mr. Futz. I think that's Futz. So Futz. How do you pronounce that? F-E-U-T-Z.
Fwets.
Fwets?
Fwets.
Fwets.
Like F-U-E to me is like F-W.
But it's F-E-U. F-E-U-T-Z.
Oh.
Fights. Thank you.
Maybe you can ask him.
We did.
He just answered.
He's in the
See,
live
if you
chat.
were in the chat, you would know this.
I'm getting there now.
Oh. All right, Queens, to your corners.
Take off.
Put your earrings back on. We're not doing this.
Oh, you're stopping the fight. I thought you were like, let's do a proper one, but you know.
Nope, ain't got time. Ain't got time. Ain't got time.
Right.
A Damon ain't got time either. He has an out. So.
Oh,
So
that's right.
let's
Okay. Oh, that. We're gonna go to that. Got the thing and the stuff and the whatnot, and we're gonna move over to that, and I'm gonna do this and not sharing sound because I'm sick and tired of that shit. So you're just gonna have to watch. Anyways, here we go. And a 3, and a 2. It's Sunday, March 31st, 2019. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I don't brew the tea, I just serve it.
And that makes me Gary.
Don't hurt nobody with your bad self.
And welcome to Comes Out Loud, the Bear Podcast of Sherman Length, episode number 504. And it's the end of the month. So it's that time again, folks. It is now time for... I feel like I'm rushing through this, but really I'm not. I'm just like...
It's
I
okay.
didn't have a thing. So anyways. So I had a second date after 2 months.
Aww.
It was good. And
Yay.
don't know what.
It ended well.
Yes. Well, I mean, there was a lot of kissing, but that's about it.
Aww.
He's been dealing with some shit. He got some new roommates, and the roommate said, "Hey, we're getting a dog." And he's like, "My cat doesn't like dogs." And they're like, "We're getting a dog anyways." And so there's a whole bunch of shit going on.
Ooh. Hey. Oh.
And this is new roommates.
What is that line that I've heard multiple times in different like sitcoms and movies and stuff? Cats living with dogs.
Cats and dogs
Pandemonium.
living together.
Yes.
Needless to say, his cat was...
Not happy.
Well, his cat wasn't there when the dog came. Because he said, "Hey, can you take care of my cat for this while I figure this shit out?" And he's trying to get out of his lease now, which he just started.
Oh.
Basically, my roommates are assholes, so I want out. Anyways, this is one of the many reasons why I don't do roommates. If I'm living with a partner, that's one thing, but roommates... needless to say, whoever I'm living with, there needs to be a beneficial part of the relationship. Just say.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, I was just thinking about that. I was, you really, what it comes down to is you really have to get along with the people you live with, period. And so, like, if you ain't dating, like, but your roommates, it helps that you get along. And if getting along is, like, poking stuff in other people's stuff, well, that's a way to make it happen.
Okay.
So
it's got to be.
If this ain't happening, this ain't happening.
For those of you that are just listening to the audio podcast, you missed a great visual from David just now. That was funny.
Anyway, I think you get the gist.
So.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. I discussed I'm allergic to cats, but he has a very adorable cat.
Oh.
So he said, "I will buy the Benadryl." He said.
Oh.
So.
So this is second date, like
second date after 2 months, but you know, shit was going down. So
this is sounding kind of like semi-lesbian, like to use a horrible stereotype trope.
Oh my god!
Serious.
No. Hold on. He did not bring a moving truck to our second date.
No. I didn't say it was full legit. Birkenstock, flannel wearing, Sheryl Crow concert lesbian. I just said that it was,
Oh my god!
Yeah,
like baby step, because he basically gave you a cat.
No, he didn't give me a cat.
Well, he didn't give it to you, but like you babysat the cat.
No, I didn't. Somebody else did.
Oh, I'm really confused. You made it sound like he asked you to take care of the cat and paid for the Benadryl for you.
No, he said that if I was ever to come to his place, he would make sure that I have Benadryl. Sorry, misconceptions during this entire thing. Just understanding, we got confused.
David, were you with me?
Okay, I'm with you. I was with you. Okay, I get it now. So
I'm sorry. I didn't make it clear.
Basically, he has a cat. He got a cat. His asshole roommate's got a dog. Knowing that he had a cat, he wanted the cat to go somewhere else for a little while he settled everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go to you. It went to someone else.
Right, another friend.
In the meantime, however, you're allergic to cats. So if you were to ever come over, you would have Benadryl available for you to take so that the cat doesn't bother your sinuses.
If anything, you would force me to take it, which I would be totally okay with. It wouldn't be much force. It would just be here.
Yeah. I will recommend, as someone who is allergic to cats and for a long time has a partner who had cats, things like 24-hour medications are your friend, because after a little while you build it up and you don't have to worry so much about it. And you can have the Benadryl as like a backup. For me, Benadryl works fine, but it sometimes works, but it sometimes just causes my mood to change, which is weird.
I have an itch, which I really, really need to scratch. So I'm working with you guys. So I would like to offer you guys that I will DM a short little campaign sometime to do
Sweet.
a D&D. However, you have to use D&D Beyond. I'll get the Master Tier sub so you get all the content unlocked.
Itches.
And I really want to play some D&D. I got an itch. I'm waiting. I'm trying to scratch. So. And the thing is, we can introduce Gary here to D&D and walk him through.
Maybe.
Evil figure taps.
Join the collective. Be a part of it.
One of
you
us.
Will be
one of us.
Anyway.
We will. Anyways, so that's my itch. That's the itch I really need scratched. So I'm just warning you. One of these days. Hopefully very soon. Anyways, Damon, how about you?
For me, I've pretty much spent most of this month gearing up for the men's chorus concert. We're doing the I Love or I Heart the 90s, so it actually will. This is the Sunday before our Hell Week, which isn't really hell. It's just a figure of speech. But we start rehearsals Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we have the concert on Friday and on Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. The show has been very interesting. A a plethora, a wealth of music from the 90s. And it's been good. I'm got a couple of solos in the show. No singing ones. They're both kind of spoken rap kind of things. But we're doing What a Man, and I'm one of the rappers for What a Man, which is kind of fun. And then on top of that, so I've been talking about work and how work kind of is sucky. Good for me, good news in the horizon. We got approved for temps, so we have 3 new temp people helping us out, getting some stuff done, and we also in addition to that, we have 2 people that work in another department that are helping us out as well. So I've been catching up surprisingly quickly, and it's been really, really helpful in the sense that I don't feel as stressy and as like overwhelming, which is nice to have when you have been dealing with that for a year or so. So good news on that front. They're going to be here. The temps are supposed to be here for 3 to 6 months, and the goal is they'll focus on the new stuff, the new claims and new cases that are coming in, and we will work on what we already have and also getting through our backlog of shit, because every one of us that have been there for a minute have a decent backlog. And that's kind of the main problem. So they want us to focus on that. So I've been mostly focusing on doing stuff that's old for a little while also trying to get into some of the things that are recent-ish to kind of find a little way to chunk it out at both ends to see if I can get to a happy medium, which is taking a little time, I will admit, but the reason it is mostly because I've realized, oh crap, I've left something behind that I haven't talked to or mentioned in about a few months, in like 3 months or 4 months kind of thing. So it's getting there. We still don't know where we're going. We'll figure that part out hopefully as we go. And yeah, so it's nice to have the help because the help was desperately needed. I'm a little miffed that it took this long to get the help we needed, but them's the bricks.
What can you do?
Yeah.
So is this going to be more of like it's just like a push, just something to help get you all caught up, or is it something where you're going to end up having rotating temps?
Our hope. So knock on wood. My hope personally is that this is a sign from above that like are 2 above, like, hey, guess what? Like 4 people doing the entire company's this part of the company is probably not enough. So maybe we could use some more people.
Maybe you can convert some of those steps after the end of the term.
Maybe we can add those people on so that they can then like keep helping us out, and by helping us out they mean actually be employed and blah 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 blah. So
because being a temp sucks. Having worked several contracts.
Yeah,
I know.
So that's my hope. Not my hope. Actually, that is my hope, that it does they've realized the balance is off, and that by getting the help and continuing to potentially need the help, they realize, oh, hey, maybe we should keep them on and let them keep having the help.
Even if it's just like 1 or 2 that might they switch to perm might help, and just kind of like that gradual sort of thing. Because higher ups, they're sometimes reluctant to spend more money on more personnel.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. We shall see how this goes.
Yes. Ding.
Gare Bear. I don't know. Don't ask me.
I think that's the first time.
It is.
You've actually called me that.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, because we're all affectionate here. It's our Gear Bear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I feel like there's a theme for me.
Mm-hmm.
Work's okay. It's good. It's a little confusing. My training and coming into the process was not typical, as in like how things should go. And I don't mean like in a utopian perfect world. I mean like standard versus some of the things that happened. Because in the past week or so, it was actually in the past month, there's been a couple of instances where I was like, so about this, and I just found out about that, and what's this other thing? And yeah. So it was kind of confusing to me, at least, in terms of why some things were handled the way they were. And then you find out, oh, well, yeah, the way you came in for your particular training class, it wasn't the way it should have been done. And I don't know why this person said that thing. And, just stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. Duly noted. I got reassigned to a new team. I've been learning something new for the job. Nice. The new team was supposed to be working on the new project coming this summer. Now apparently things have changed. According to my new supervisor, people run their mouths and can't shut up, and there's gossip going on, so that may be a factor. I'm like, oh, great. That's just what I love about a work environment. Not really, but and then work is just that it's been a lot of drag race. Drag race, which may not seem like a lot because it's just an hour and a half of your life every week if you just watch the show. However, for Damon and I putting on a podcast, it becomes a lot more. And because I'm becoming obsessive about the fact that we're on YouTube and we're using visuals, I'm spending a number of hours to put all that stuff together. And
Gary does more work for that show than I do for the show.
Mm-hmm. No lies.
He's like, totally true.
This tea is wonderful.
Everybody drink your tea. And woke.
I have lemonade, but that's close enough.
Woke. Although I already alluded to it earlier about like not having as much sleep. So I'm burning. It's that time where I'm burning the candle at both ends. Actually, I'm probably going to start burning it in the middle as well. The difficulty is now because I work 4 10-hour days. I spend a half a day every day I work dealing with work. Like, because I have to leave and go to work and I have to get up in the morning, you know what I mean? Like, and prepare a meal and take, something to drink and travel to work. Granted, I only live a couple miles away and it takes me just minutes to get there. It's not very long at all, but it's this whole element that I didn't have before. And coming home. So I'm pretty much locked up for at least 12 hours a day dealing with that. And then outside of that, like maybe getting 6 hours of sleep and then spending the other 6 hours trying to work on other shit. And then, that's right. I have other things I'm supposed to do, like laundry and grocery shopping and, life.
Gary,
and stay caught up on things and podcasts.
Hey, you can't see it, but do you know what this is? It's the world's tiniest violin playing.
Oh, girl. No. Everyone has their own abilities and what have you. I personally know what all Gary is going through.
I personally know what all Gary's going through too.
And it's one of those things where
I have a 20-minute
a lot going on. And on top of that, he's putting on an event that he has to probably do meetings for, and there's still.
I mean, I have to get a drag queen every week to do your intro too.
Well, good luck with that. Moving on.
I mean, that's what I'm doing right now.
So, yeah, that's kind of that. But enough about like what was me in that aspect. Let's move on to some of our other stuff for today.
So, it being that time of month, it's also time for this. Gary, what's been going on over in the Facebooks?
We got 3 new likes on Facebook. We want to thank Cliff Jumper Jr., Sean Wise, and Clint Malig. I'm not sure on the pronunciation of the last one, for liking us. The middle one, Sean, is a huge shock to me. Sean is someone I know from Texas many years ago when I used to go down there for work. He was someone I met when I was down there that was also a trainer. And looking back on it, it's quite hysterical now because we sniffed each other out, and he was not having me, and I was not having someone dishing me attitude as the new person arriving to help them launch something. And then come to find out, I was like, something must have gotten said somehow, and we discovered that we're in the same family.
Yeah, I did. I think I remember a story about this.
Friends of Dorothy.
Yeah.
Then I found out that he was a kinky motherfucker. Published in a leather kink journal kind of kinky motherfucker.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So anyways, it was quite comical to see that, because I was like, I think I know this name. And then I kind of looked at the profile and I was like, oh, hey girl. So it just came out of nowhere to me.
It's a small gay world.
Yeah, we got some comments on previous episodes on Facebook. So regarding COL504, our Dr. Cisco said, congratulations on 500 episodes. Thanks a lot for the shout out, Damon. I'm honored to be a part of COL history.
You're welcome.
And in COL502, Eric G said, personally, I'd like to see some new development. This is about Growler. There hasn't been anything added to the app in ages. I still like it for now, and we'll wait and see what happens.
Which I think ends up being kind of the consensus, at least from everything I've heard. Of course, I don't really hear much about anything, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I mean, I think Eric's in the same boat that the three of us were from that episode. The takeaway overall, as a synopsis, was we were like, okay, not going to lose our head. Just wait.
It'll probably be just fine.
Yeah. And then Facebook adjacent, Instagram. I've been working on trying to at least post things more on the regular on there. And I finally figured out how to post without... Anyways, I'm just very frustrated. Instagram is mobile platform based. So it's meant to be posted to from a mobile item. Right. Big pain in the rear end when you do things from a PC or from a laptop. But I found a workaround so far. Okay. So that being said, we have 3 new Instagram followers. BioBear38, Breaks the Stereotype.info, and someone named Pup Tibbers.
Hi, Tibbers.
I want to do a quick side note because I'm very happy with Owen. It's a gay world after all.
Oh,
There's the bears are at the mall. Being queer, put up your paws. It's a gay world. Sorry.
And copyright infringement.
No! It's parody!
Parody.
It's parody. I didn't use the lyrics from the song, just the melody. So, I'm safe. It's all fine. It's fine. Fine. David? What's been going on over the YouTube? Speaking of which.
Speaking of the YouTubes, let's get on there. So we have a few new subscribers again from YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us. Jason Johns, Robert Fisher, and Wes. Welcome.
Yes, and Robert is actually someone I'm acquainted with, just more acquaintances than anything, but I was surprised to see his name and come up. I was like, oh, hey, look at you. He is due north of you, Damon, up on the lake in Ohio. He's up in kind of that area.
Oh, well, welcome.
Yeah, I met him years ago, and then I didn't realize that he was a kinky cubby, biker.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So.
Well, they're all just coming out of the woodwork.
I know! Imagine that.
So we got a couple of comments on 3 different episodes. So yay, thanks guys for commenting. So on COL501, Boss MRG said, everyone looking great. Hope you all feel great. We're looking great and feeling gorgeous. Thank you very much for asking.
Oh man.
On COL 502, Oscar Roscoe Orejo responded. He says, "My fear is it's going to be like Tumblr, where after it got bought off, it just gets worse and worse, and eventually killed by its own incompetence." That is a very interesting thought.
So we got a whole people who are just like staying calm and carry on, and then we have Oscar here who's worried for the future. This is all about Growler, just to be clear.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a potential fear, and I can understand that. Personally, I can understand that where to for lack of a better word, conform, that it becomes a watered down mess of what it once was, and therefore it doesn't remain as popular, and then people are kind of like, and then we get on to the next thing. So
I'm hoping that I really hope to allay people's FUD, their fear, uncertainty, and doubt about what will happen here. Everything sounds very amicable, and it sounds like everybody wants everything to succeed when it comes to Growler. So having the more resources, everything will hopefully improve. And let's look at the positive sides of things.
Well, I mean, I think...
And no. Growler is not 411 on wheels. 411 is just a catastrophe. It is something from the 90s that has not changed since.
Well, I mean, in terms of what Oscar brings up, I think the difference in what has happened with Tumblr and what is potentially going to happen with Growler is just scale. I think Tumblr was bought by very large corporations that were like making acquisitions for shareholder like kind of turnover and growth and that kind of stuff. And that's where I think some of the, as he put it, incompetence comes from, because it's just a bunch of people way removed from a product understanding how it works and what to do with it. So that's why I think I sent to the two of you in the past month a link about how in the month of January, the first month after they put in their like adult ban content stuff, that they lost a quarter of users. And people are paying attention to that kind of thing. And it's like, none of us are surprised by it. It's like, y'all fucked with the flat platform in terms of your consumer base. So granted, I say consumer base, but it's really users. Because I wasn't really paying them anything for the service other than just advertising. But anyways.
Okay. So moving right along. In COL503, Oscar again responds, "I wonder if Boone Carter means he's a top." And crickets, because I can't remember what we were talking about at that point.
That was gaming. That was the last episode. It was gaming characters with Christy as our guest, and I remember us talking about
Boone Carter, a very sexy developer who we followed on.
Okay, right.
That's right. Now I remember. Thank you, because I
really sad I didn't remember his name. I was so impressed with like his overall profile, and then just to remember his name.
It's more of a looking at you're remembering the look, not the name.
Fact.
Like tricks I've had in the past. Moving on.
Hashtag truth.
I remember this.
Sip your tea.
I don't remember this.
Moving on.
Okay, so speaking on Tumblr, which we do still have, folks. We do still have a Tumblr.
Yes, we do.
I go in every few days and I try to add a little bit of content as I can. Yeah. All right. So we do still have a Tumblr. So speaking of which, we have several new Tumblr followers. Dick Dorm X, Kit 1191, Southern Ginger 48, Dion Ray 69, Borg 1990, and WJSYCL.
Yay.
Welcome.
And over on Patreon, we've got two new people on Patreon. We have Eric and Lee. Eric is Philip's husband. So we got support there.
Hey, welcome.
Philip, got into our Telegram chat, and then he said, "Hey, Happy, you should jump in this Telegram chat." He got in Telegram chat, and now he is a patron.
Yay!
Over on Twitter, which is becoming more popular than our Tumblr. Shocking. We have several new followers. We have Harrisup, 09059946. I really hate these numbers, people. I really do. D Cubster, Guy Dinkick, Neck, I don't know, something like that. Barely Michigan, Breadwinner Lit, C Siren 6809, Rax 244, Walter Alvin 1, 0x90 Bear, Gary Macaron, I think that's how you pronounce it. No Stereotype with 2 underscores quoting it. Monkey Beaties, a Japa 2001, Love to Bear 1, Salty Dog USN. Who could that be? Rufus 278, Wolf Guy Limited, and Underbear TN.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah, I was gonna say some just some interesting names that are there. I'm reading Philip in the live chat. He says he just sprung that on me the other day. Philip referring to Eric, and then becoming patrons. He goes, "No conversation. It was just, hey, we're patrons of COL now."
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
It's okay.
So you can now share you both can share that link for the patron only feed, so you guys can get the full audio of everything.
Yeah.
You get the extra content, specifically if you're a fan of the COLDR that Damon and I do. You get to hear the pre and post show stuff that,
which is sometimes wonderful.
Well, to be fair, also I want to recognize, Damon, that you're sounding better now, because last week you were
good lord, cold. You have no idea. So yes, I am feeling much better. I can actually breathe out my nose, although I'm still a little congested. It's still not going away, but it's not nearly as bad as it was like a week ago. So where I was sitting over here the whole time, pretty much like hawking my brains out.
Right. Understood.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, moving on. So give us a review, Gary, on the shows that we did this month, since we had 5 Sundays, right?
Yes. So normally we have just 3, I guess I want to call them standard episodes between our What's Going Ons. And then this month I had to double and triple check, because I was like, wait, is that right? It is right. So we had 4 episodes between the last WGO and this one. We did our 500th milestone, where we just kind of reflected on a lot of the changes that have happened and number of guests that we had over the past 11 plus years of the show. And then to begin our 500 series, we had our longest standing guest host come back. So Hadrian joined us, I think, for his 28th or 29th time.
Yes.
And we did a Let's Talk About Sex bathhouse etiquette episode, which was interesting. But it's always interesting with Hadrian. I got a personal message. I'm not going to repeat the content of it, but let me say that I was surprised when someone said to me, "I'm watching you on YouTube talk about bathhouses." ... That's all I'm going to say.
Girl, when this call is done, once we're off air.
Yeah, we're off air, and it's not going to be in the post show for the patrons. Sorry.
Sorry, patrons. You won't.
Sorry.
There are limits.
This is just between us.
So yeah, and then the next episode, we did a Hostful News update, which we hadn't done one of those in a long time. But I mean, those were kind of like depending on what was happening in the world in some ways, and this one was kind of serious because the bear community on social media kind of had an issue.
Sorry, I'm laughing about what Philip is putting in the chat.
I know.
Anyways,
so yeah, we talked about the whole that Growler is now part of a larger company, and about the potential changes to come with that. And then last week, it was fun. We had Chris D join us as our guest. It had been a year since the last time he was on, and this time we talked about gaming characters. That's gaming with a Y. So we went through an interesting discussion about LGBTQ representation when it comes to video games, what that's been like in the past history, where it has been of recent, how fans handle that kind of stuff. But originally I thought we were going to spend a lot of time like kind of breaking down about, the reactionary part and what that's really all about. And we didn't, which I'm perfectly fine with, because we got into some really interesting conversations about that representation and how it matters and what it means and whether or not things are retconned, like, or is it more potentially that people are just getting butthurt because they make a presumption about a character. And then when you look back, some of us are able to be like, well, hello, like the clues were there the whole time if you weren't paying attention, So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And then if I remember correctly, there was one moment, I'm having a brain lapse at this moment about, I made a parallel connection about, oh, it's gone. Anyways, listen to the episode. There's something in there that I had posed, I hadn't thought about the way Chris phrased the individuals reacted, I think. And like what that means, like in terms of, we were talking about if you find out that a character is LGBTQ and you don't get to choose that. Remember? And how I said, well, isn't that interesting how players have to deal with knowing this thing because they don't get to choose to not be it. Meaning, like, if let's say it's a character that happens to be lesbian, they don't get to choose to not be lesbian. And to me, I was like, well, isn't that an interesting life parallel? Like, funny that. So, I thought it was a good show. It was one that
something.
Yes, definitely. In that case. So I'm doing a quick check on what we've got on the docket coming up. I know that we're probably going to have a week off because I got the thing to do.
Specific event.
Yeah.
Something going on. Something,
Strangely enough, I believe the plans deal with that event, kind of.
Yeah. So in tradition of when there's an event happening, the episode beforehand, which will be next week's episode, actually, will be another Bear series. What's that?
Oh, no, you're doing next week is Bear. Okay.
Correct.
Oh, Japan. Okay.
Philip in the live chat. It's not like you get a choice to be hetero in a game. Parentheses, which is the norm.
Yeah, fair point. Well, and as we said, there's some where everything is ambiguous. And it's just whatever choices you make determine things, such as like Stardew.
Right. Counterpoint made. So yeah, I mean, I think that it was some good stuff. And then so the next week's episode actually is sort of based on a suggestion that we got, I think, on Facebook previously. So that's one of them things. Also, it's not really on the docket, but it's the last day of March, so that means tomorrow is the 1st of April, which is the first of the month, is the beginning of a new month for us for Patreon. And in this month of March, Jeff, you spent some money.
No, I didn't.
What do you mean? We had our renewal.
No, we got notification that it will be renewing.
Oh, I thought it was in the month of March.
No, we got the notification that we will be renewing in May, I believe.
That's annoying.
We will be spending some money.
I thought you spent all that big chunk of change like in the past 2 weeks. So I was like,
I just forward the notification to the Cubs Out Loud account so that we kind of keep track and make sure we all do it and I don't forget something.
Right. So. Well, the good news is that we've got enough money in the bank to cover it. So, yeah.
Thank you to our patrons for.
I really thank the patrons, considering my current monetary situation right now. The patrons will definitely keep everything running smoothly, up and running, and hopefully no complaints about anything. So,
yeah.
Well, so kind of the way it breaks down is in the course of a year, a third of the funds coming in are going to pay for the domain, for like the renewal and the hosting, that kind of jazz. A third of it went, I think it's about a third of it went towards rewards. Maybe it might be more than a third in terms of percentage, and then the rest of it we're just kind of using a little bit here, a little bit there. Like we got Damon new
high def camera. No, I bought my headphones. We got the camera.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
so
we got the brand new camera, so you can actually see my beautiful, awesome face.
All nice and pretty and not all grainy.
Yeah, where it's not my my computer camera. That's kind of like the RuPaul Drag Race like
season one filter. Yeah. Everything has a nice Vaseline sheen. Everything a little foggy.
Like earlier, I moved myself because you were getting the glare of light from hitting the glassware behind me because I'm in high definition.
Look at you just living it over there. Look at me.
Hey, this is one of the good things that
we got to make sure Damon looks pretty.
See, he gets it. But it was more this is like one of the benefits of the patrons. So thank you, patrons, because without that, I would have.
You can see, we're not just using this money willy nilly. We're using this money to help make a better program. So, fortunately, this next big thing only comes around every 2 years. So I'm hoping before the next time it comes up that we can upgrade a few other things.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that we're hoping to do. I think is to do some guts mechanical. I don't know how else to phrase it. Upgrade for Jeff's computer that he uses for hosting.
Literally all
recording.
The base that I need is a new CPU, motherboard, and RAM. And the only reason why I need the motherboard and RAM is because of the new CPU. And after I get that, I'm pretty much basically set. Although there was a few other things I would like to upgrade just to make things even smoother.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you, patrons, again for like the 1,000th time. But thank you.
So here's your unofficial, because we did them obnoxiously quite a bit in the beginning, and then we backed off. So I'm sure some of y'all appreciate that we're not commercializing every single episode all the time. But yeah, so for as little as $1 a month, you can get a lot of freaking content, especially right now, because we got our regular show, and then Damon and I are doing COLDR. So that's basically 8 episodes a month for $1. You can be help supporting and get some other stuff, so to speak.
Yeah, I really want to do maybe even like a separate episode D&D campaign too, so that would be another kind of like goal I would like to do, but I need to do planning. And
you also have to recognize that your co-hosts have to have a life.
Yeah.
So
well,
sorry,
maybe I just can't include you.
My life this year.
I'm gonna have to find some other cause
between a couple of big things. So now I'm looking forward to seeing what we can accomplish in the coming year.
Hey,
so
any patrons, do you want to play some D&D like some evening or something? There you go.
I mean, if we do something like that, maybe we could make it patron only.
Patrons' thoughts?
Let us know.
Let us know.
Or we could like do a quick recap, like snippet that goes out to the public, and then if everybody else is interested, they get to watch it.
Previously on COL/D&D.
We'll see.
Or COL/RPG. I don't know. Something like that.
Maybe.
Right, because if we do RPG, it means we're not like locked into D&D. So.
Right. As Phillips points out, you really haven't commercialized Patreon like you used to with the Zazzle commercials. Yeah, we know. I think there was kind of a forcing it down your throat period, so that you got used to it, knew that it was there,
and just enjoyed it so much you just wanted it more.
Well, and maybe we were just being a little dumb with it, going through a take it no matter what period. David, take it.
Anyways, speaking of being dirty, let's go into this. So, because of the demise of Tumblr, of course, we are now doing the Twitters. So, today, mine says showing off a little. And some of you may actually recognize or know this guy from various pornography. Needless to say, he's grown. And not to say anything in a bad way, but there's just been a change since the last time I saw him in some porn. I like it.
Wow.
But it's Dakota Porter. So he's
follow.
Yes. Well, speaking of which, yeah, I need to do that.
Oh,
wrong account. I need to follow on the other account. Because I think I saw a retweet of him, and that's where this came up. So.
Oh my God, what are you doing? Okay, open this fucking thing so I can see this fucking peen. Come on.
Okay, so I am not.
Right.
I am not. It's all right. So here's the crazy thing. Like in the comments, I spot somebody and I'm like, oh, I know who that is. And then I was like, wait, am I already following them? No, I'm not following them on Twitter. I'm following them on every other platform, just not Twitter. Which that's one of my things. Like people have been requesting to personally follow me on Instagram. And I have in years only made one post ever on Instagram because I'm just not that big of an Instagram like person. Like, I mean, I follow some other people, but like for me to post things, it's not that big a deal.
Sorry.
But part of me is like, I don't want to like follow people on all their different platforms and then see the same content over and over and over again. So,
yeah,
that's understandable.
So Mr. Dakota has definitely, I don't want to say has grown. I think he has definitely been working on himself. And
I mean, his beard has grown. His belly has grown.
Not so much that. I think he's defining it a little bit more.
Maybe
he's doing some working out and stuff. I follow him on Facebook, so he's doing some working out and all that stuff. But he is definitely changing himself, which is a good thing. And kudos to him. He's looking great, and Dad has a very nice penis and a butt, and I kind of wouldn't mind taking care of both.
Yes, I think we agree. Anyways, that's mine.
And his boyfriend is hot too. So, by the way, yeah. Anyway, so for me, this is Mr. Cuddly Cub XXXL from Twitter, and he's feeling cute.
And he won't delete later.
And
I almost picked this, but I guess I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. So he's a cute little chubby cubby, cuddly cubby boy, and he's definitely cute. Definitely cute. And so you get a good just picture of him and his little I hate to say it, bear smirk, and then you get a nice, wonderful picture of his peen.
And according to a post from earlier today, he's coming to stockydudes.com soon.
Oh. Jinx.
So
yeah, he's definitely adorable.
More to enjoy in the future.
And following his husband.
Husband?
Yes,
he says he's married.
I missed that part.
Oh, married to Cody Voss. Oh. Now, wouldn't that be fun?
It is a nice big guy, little guy relationship. So
now,
Cody Voss, who has it just for fans. So you can tell what they like to do.
Okay. Just as a random observation, Cody Voss looks like Gus Kenworthy.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Okay.
I'm not familiar, so I cannot say yay or nay.
Damon knows who I'm talking about. He was a guest judge on.
RuPaul's Drag Race. He's a Olympic skier, if I remember correctly, off the top of my head. But there's a definite there's a slight resemblance. I mean, Gus is definitely has a little bit more structure because he's more built in it, physically. But there's a little resemblance there.
I think it's the eyes.
Yeah, and it's fun watching the pin post on Cody Voss's tweet because it's obviously him and Cuddly Cub, who I just friended, having a little fun on their Just for Fans page, and that's a dick sucking.
Anyway,
Gary
we have gone into a Twitter hole.
That we have. I'm sorry, I got stuck with the grainy, pixelated one that Cody posted of him at Steamworks in Chicago. I was like, really, girl? Anyways. Reminded me of some vintage 80s porn. So I couldn't pick a tweet, so I have a couple.
Of course.
So the first one is the most recent that gave me pause and then made me laugh ridiculously. I called it "What the." For those of you that don't know and really are not aware, in terms of pop culture in America, Martha Stewart, yes, that Martha Stewart who went to jail, Martha Stewart who is still doing that whole home life platform business thing, has teamed up with Snoop Dogg and created a TV show, and they now have a new promo for something they're calling the Potluck Party Challenge, which apparently airs Wednesday, April 3rd.
Oh.
When you see this 45-second commercial, it is so ridiculously out of bounds.
Yes. You have no so for those of us who watch RuPaul's Drag Race live, this was one of the commercials they showed during the episode. And me and Jim were watching it on Thursday night and about lost our shit watching this commercial because it is hilarious. It is so wrong.
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid, but it the fact that they they have they you can tell that they are having fun. This is not like something that was forced together for the sake of like TV or whatever. This is some kind of weird, like, it just works kind of.
Well, the whole premise of the two of them being together was meant to sort of be a joke spoof, because Snoop had been on her television show, like doing a cooking segment, and they come from such like opposite worlds of life and experience. She is the epitome of a New England wasp. She is an older white woman who, talks in a very specific way and has, like everything needs to be perfect. She's just this representation of kind of that like thing. And Snoop Dogg is not that. And so that episode was so beloved in how crazy this mashup of these two people are, that they actually ended up creating a TV show of them like being co-hosts and cooking, which I've seen like little snippets here and there on social media. And then apparently it's doing quite well, because now they made this other promo video of the two of them together. So I agree with you. Like, it works.
Yeah.
But it's so weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
But it works.
It's funny.
So yeah, so good for them. Kudos for them. Best of luck on their show.
Yeah. And then so this one was like, it was such an awe, and also like I want to meet him. So Tim Wyckoff posted, someone else had tweeted this. So if you've ever watched Monsters Inc. and you know who Sully is, he's the big blue with purple spotted, like kind of teal monster. And Boo is the little girl that ends up getting lost in the first film, that they try to get back home. So they went to WonderCon, he and a friend of his, and went as a mashup of being Sully and Boo, but with Star Wars. So Sully is now a Jedi Master, and Boo is a Padawan.
Yes.
It's crazy. His big old beard is so aquamarine. I'm like really, really super impressed by it.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, go ahead.
Just looking at all of the let me see, bear related replies.
No.
So he just posted 18 hours ago at WonderCon a wedding Bowser mashup. Look, I'm thinking I know why I'm familiar with him. I think he is the Clawhauser from a couple years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, that is him. He did an amazing Clawhauser cosplay. Yeah, he did. There it is. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So today he's doing Clawhauser at WonderCon.
Nice.
He's going to do Clawhauser again. That's pretty awesome. Yay. Anyways.
Yay.
So I couldn't help but pass that one along, because I thought it was really cute. And then, so here is your, get ready, David, don't be drinking if you haven't seen this when you watch
I've already
this.
seen this.
Okay. So I laughed so hard when I saw this on social media. Someone took a clip of something else and redubbed it. So for those of you that are familiar with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, and you know about Thanos and what has been referred to now officially as the decimation, but we used to call the snappening, where half of all, humanity disappears. Spoiler alert. So
half of all the life in the universe, not just humanity,
is gone. So there's this part of that stupid meme where it's like me, nothing, and then everybody else. Only this one says people who were sucking a dick when Thanos snapped. And then when you play the video, it's of a woman who is failing the cinnamon challenge, if you remember that from social media a long ass time ago.
So this is, I think, Glozell. So if you've seen any of Tasha Hall's like earlier stuff, she was on it. She was like in The Wizard when he did not The Wizard, the Beauty and the Beat from the like South Central California kind of South Central LA kind of thing. And anyway, so she's and she has her own following and whatever, blah blah blah. But that's how I remember her originally. And essentially, this is her obviously doing the cinnamon challenge and failing miserably. I think this is the most hilarious thing ever, comparing it to like, oh, she was sucking dick with Thanos, and I'm like, ooh, well, that's a thing.
Right. That's the whole reason why this video cracked me up. Like, because the mashup concept, it's very imaginative visually, and I'm like, it is so messed up. Because the reality is, if that truly happened, that means that some people were doing things, like, as we well know, when it happened. Hence, in the movie, there's this whole thing about, automobiles, all transportation goes to hell because, some pilots disappear and, and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But this makes an excellent point. Like, technically, since it is now possible there are so many people in the world at the same time, it is possible that people are having sex literally every second of the day within the 24 hours. Somewhere in the world is having an orgasm. Someone is having sex. So conceptually, it's very real that someone could have been sucking dick and the person they were sucking dusted.
I apologize to the chat. I pasted the link to my tweet in the chat, but didn't do it for the other 4 that we've gone through so far.
Yeah.
So I just did that. So that's where the spam of Twitter links. So.
And then my last Twitter pick is called New Cut with Beard. So this gentleman is highly distracting on my Twitter. I'm just going to own it. He's at a bearded fruit. Cody has an amazing coif and beard, and he's got a very interesting aesthetic and look, and comments on great many things. And I'm completely drawn in by him. He has a beautiful man in his life as well, but he's a writer and does a lot of things, and he's based, I think, in Connecticut. But anytime his stuff pops up, I'm totally paying attention to what he has to say and that kind of stuff. So there's that. That's my tweets.
That's the tweets.
Gary, who came up with several.
Well, most of those were just kind of silly or just memeish, and I was like, none of them are really thirst traps. So there's your thirst trap, Cody.
There we go. All right, moving on to the links. So I'm going to link something I strongly recommend: D&D Beyond. For all your D&D needs, you can purchase the digital content of the player's handbook, the monster manual, and a whole bunch of the official D&D items, so that you can use them by using their character builder. They got a campaign thing, and if you do their master tier subscription, you can share all your books. So one person can purchase the content, as long as one person has the master tier sub. You can share that with everybody, and it gives you, when you create a character, it basically gives you a really nice interactive character sheet, so you don't have to keep writing down different things on paper and waste stuff when you can just keep it all digitally. It's a great tool. They're very much in partnership with Wizards of the Coast for this, and amazing thing. Also, because they also sponsor Critical Role, Sam Riegel worked on a commercial for them, and it's now their official theme song. Because the YouTube link that I'm gonna embed on the page is an animation of Sam Riegel singing a theme song for D&D Beyond. And it's freaking amazing. It's been around for a while, several months, but I just realized I've never actually recommended it. And it makes creating a D&D character super simple. There's a few things where it can get kind of overwhelming, but there's ways to kind of work around that. So without having to actually be completely overwhelmed. But I really like it, and I I already have the Monster Manual, the Player's Handbook, and Dungeon Master's Guide, and if we decide to do a D&D campaign, I will probably invest in the Master Tier sub so I can share my stuff with other people and we can actually do one.
Nice.
So that's my link.
Gary.
All right, so this is a spoiler YouTube post. So if you have not seen the movie Captain Marvel, I would not suggest clicking it and watching it. It's about a 9-minute video of Kevin Smith, and he gives a really great commentary about Stan Lee's cameo in Captain Marvel. So while that's a little bit of a spoiler, it's probably not that big of a spoiler because Stan Lee has been in like pretty much, I think, every single MCU movie. And so it was, I went and saw it on opening night, and it was amazing to see him, that he was in the film. Kevin reveals the behind the scenes about what made that happen. It's very specific to Kevin, so if you've seen the movie, you understand. It's like amazeballs, and I was so happy to like learn more about that kind of thing and some of the stuff that he reveals, because he went and saw the movie, and Kevin immediately did a reactionary social media post and looked horrendous because he had been crying his eyes out. And he was really touched and moved about like how Stan Lee was kind of tributed and some stuff, and then Kevin's technical connection to the movie. So you have to watch it to understand. But this particular video was really awesome. And I was thinking back about like my liked video content over the past month or two, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty special. So, and I've been remote fan of Kevin Smith for a long time. There was a time in my past, probably in my early 30s ish, when people sometimes would tell me that I look like Kevin Smith, because apparently I was a big dude with glasses and a beard, and usually happened probably when I wore a baseball hat backwards. So the only thing I was missing was a trench coat, apparently. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because, you know, all us fat bearded dudes look alike. But anyways.
Yeah.
Hey, does
So-
anybody ever mention that you look like Silent Bob?
Yeah. So, and then, but I knew that he was, you know, supportive of LGBTQ. And then back when A Bear's Life magazine was happening, he was on the cover with Malcolm Ingram, who has done documentaries, some of them focusing on the LGBTQ. And Malcolm is an out bear as a filmmaker from Canada. So there was kind of a reference that, you know, Kevin might hook up with Malcolm. Not really, because he's happily married to his wife, Jen. But Kevin Smith is kind of in this interesting realm for me as like what we consider celebrities. He's like Penn Jillette in that they're very like open about who they are and their life, like in a way that I think a lot of celebrities aren't. And both of them kind of talk very openly about sex in ways that, you know, if the opportunity presented itself, who the hell am I to turn it down, kind of an attitude. And I just really appreciate that about, you know, men being that honest and open, that they're not squeamish, they're not weirded out by the potential of like a guy sucking their dick. Like, have they ever done it? I don't think so. But that's the whole, like, I think that's the part that's kind of intriguing, is that they leave it as just an open mystery. Like, there's a possibility.
Haven't they?
Right.
Who knows?
I mean,
does it matter?
I'm
No,
not
it
doing
doesn't.
the sucking, but somebody else is. That's fine.
Well, and that's
Who am
where
I to
think
complain
they're-
about who's doing it, as long as it's
Right,
good?
right. I think that's what I love about that attitude, is that they're very in touch with, like, it's an orgasm. Who's giving it to me? Do I really care that much? Like, and so because of
Is
that,
it going to be weird that they have like a beard is straight tickling my balls while they're doing it? You know, I don't know.
maybe not.
What is this new sensation that I'm now finding I enjoy?
Right.
Who
And
knows?
so, like, there's a part
It
of
just
me-
means you go from that very end of straight and you just kind of inch a little bit towards the middle.
Right. And there's been, you know, talk and conjecture of that, you know, that they've had experiences, you know. And so I think I'm just more drawn towards, individuals that are put in a limelight that are just more frankly open about that, and are just like, yeah, it's a thing.
It's one of those things where it's like, so you're saying there's a chance.
Well, and I think that was the thing when I was younger, like to find out that there's a celebrity that there might be a thing, like adds more to the spank bank, in terms of like imagination. If you're like, oh,
there you go.
Just sing Magic Carpet Ride and show him a whole new world.
Oh, jeez. Well, I wouldn't be sick. I would have to hum it because my mouth would be... Right. That's just weird. But anyways.
Or maybe it's something you just like play from your phone or something. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. Like, so, and I think that also knowing that this is like the reality, I think it lends more credence to like the urban legends that you hear about, like that people who are quote unquote celebrities hook up on the DL. As a like, here's an example. This is why sometimes when a celebrity comes out, I think I'm going to say heteronormative individuals are like confused because the LGBTQ community, specifically gay men, are not confused by this. And here's an example. Ricky Martin was expected / rumored, predicted, check all those type of boxes, descriptives as being gay. And I had heard for a while, that people knew people who hooked up with Ricky or something like that. Whether or not there was any truth or not into it, like I think that like it all falls in that kind of like imaginary mystery realm. Are they? Aren't they? Who knows? Does it really matter? So yeah, lots of unborn babies were spilled because of that. Whatever. So
well, half.
Oh.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Guess what, folks?
Easy now.
That's it.
Guess what, folks? That's the end. Aww. It's the end of the month. We thank you all of our patrons who subscribe to us. We have a thank you card at the end, which includes our new patrons. But there are plenty of ways to contact us for everyone. Oh, by the way, side note, one of the conversations we had recently was somebody asked for like a Telegram chat, which was all pretty much smut. And I'm like, well, there is an After Dark channel in our Discord, which we actually have. If you are a patron, there's instructions on how to access it and make sure that you get into the patron-only portion of it. And some people have actually been using the After Dark Discord channel. So we'll see what goes on with that. But wanted to mention that. Anyways, there's plenty of ways to contact us. Pop over to our website, cubsoutloud.com. Shoot us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail, sexy or otherwise, at 361-COL-TALK. That's 361-265-8255. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and, of course, right here on YouTube at Cubs Out Loud in the appropriate place of the URL. Join our Entourage chat, just the general chat, at tinyurl.com/telegram-COL. You can find out when we are recording these, once we have that set up, on our by following our calendar at tinyurl.com/calendar-COL. You can get some merch such as this. Now that we're sticky, here's a cookie shirt, a consent 4-play shirt Gary has. And I don't think you're wearing any of the merch, right? Okay, cool. All over at Zazzle.com/CubsOutLoud.
I'm wearing mine.
David is wearing his shirt that I gifted him years ago.
Okay.
Which still makes me giggle.
Anyways, you can also become a patron like Eric Fights. And apparently it's a couple thing for him, so it's also Philip. So we thank you, Mr. The Misters Fights. Over at patreon.com/cubsoutloud. You can rate us iTunes, subscribe to us, Google Play Podcast. You can find me anywhere in the internet. It says Box at Box Puppy Box Gub Box something or other.
I am Theater Cub 79 on most bear related sites, or you can even follow me there on Facebook, or you can find me as pup_Umbra on Twitter.
If you would like to follow me on Twitter based on some of the stuff that we just discussed today, you can find me as GareBear73XXX.
And with that, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good one, y'all.
And I'm going to use one of those urns.
Good for you. Da-da-da-da-da. So one of those guys, like you were talking about Kevin Smith, like one of those ones that like you like everyone was all like crushing on, et cetera, et cetera. One of my crushes is Duff Goldman from like Ace of Cakes, and he's always on the Food Network. He's one of my like if you meet it there.
I said if you had a chance to get freaky, you would.
Yeah. It's just one of those ones, like for whatever reason, like he just, although I don't know if he's a dick or not. I'm not sure, but like.
So I heard from somebody who met him firsthand at a public event that he was a dick to them.
Mm-hmm.
But given the context of what they said happened, I'm not going to excuse his behavior, but there's a part of me that's like, yes, but you did not endear yourself to the individual. You thought you were being cute when in fact you are actually doing what so many other people have done. You are probably number 7,382 in line that has said basically the same thing to him.
Yeah.
And because you're talking to him out of context of reality of life, you don't know what's truly going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because it's just like, so I listened to Penn's Sunday School with Penn Jillette, and it's very interesting. I've been listening to it for a number of years, and he's a atheist / libertarian and has very interesting views on things. He talks a lot about like the magic show he does with Penn and Teller, but a lot of other stuff. But in this last one, they were talking about, he says, you know, that people come up and talk to him after the magic show and they do like signing autographs and stuff like that with everybody that's in the theater. And one of the things he said is he always gets recognition of people who have like listened to the podcast. And some people talk to him like they know him, like they really know him. And he said that there's a little creepy factor to it. And he and the other co-hosts discussed that happens with podcasts, that people who listen to a podcast a lot really get a connection, a feeling with the hosts.
Yeah.
And we're no different, because sometimes we've been someplace and someone talks to us and they mention things and you're kind of like, I don't remember what that's about, where this context is like, and it's not that we dislike it, but it's just a little like you forget that, you know, we have literally recorded thousands of hours of talk and discussed many things in our personal lives and other stuff. So people feel they have a connection with you.
True.
But that doesn't mean they really know you. Like they know an aspect of you that you've put out there into the world, but they don't really know you on a personal level. So when said individual and, you know, interacts with another person, yes, it can be like kind of jarring a little bit, especially when they talk to you about something that you're not prepared for, or they don't really have the full context of what's happening.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they might talk to you about your family, your friends, your partner, your pets, like just, you know, something. And you'd be like, how the hell do you even know that? Because you think, like, I don't know you. How do you? And then you kind of maybe forget that.
So advice to all podcast listeners. When you go meet somebody from the podcast, make sure you start off by saying, hey, I listen to your podcast. I've heard you say this. Maybe even give up something about yourself to make a connection. Just realize that the initial connection is not reciprocal.
Well, right. And so my point is like what I was explaining to Damon about, this person I know that had a bad interaction with a quote unquote celebrity was the celebrity doesn't know you from nobody. Like, and you showed up at a public event where you knew they were going to be there. So yes, they knew they were going to meet people, but you talking to them about an aspect of their life that is somewhat public, but like you don't know them and they don't know you. Like I think there's a whole measurement in how you do that. And the humor in the moment was not there. And I guess he didn't react well to it. And so this person was like, this individual I know came across very much like offended and pissed off and like wrote him off or something. And I'm like, okay, like you have that prerogative. You have the right to like now no longer like him or be interested in him. But the truth is like you kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I'm not defending his reaction, but I think like the bigger picture is important. It would be like someone coming up to me and talking to me about like, the things I've admitted and talked about on this podcast that are kind of private. Like, yeah, I know I put them out on a public forum, but if they like start talking to me about like all my like sexual fantasies and desires and things I like to do, and I'm like kind of like, who the fuck is you, bitch? Like,
who the fuck are you?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you? So and it don't matter who they are, how hot they are, like I would still be like, huh? Like, wait a minute. Yeah, like put you at arm's length. Right. No, and I don't know if I would necessarily be turned off, but I think like there is it's conversation, kids. Like there's a finesse to the art of talk and how you interact with another person. And so if you've got zero connection to them, it's like starting from nothing, even though you know a lot about them. And I think that's the part that is difficult sometimes when it comes to that stuff. So anyways, it was a whole like spin-off from David saying that he wants to do nasty things to Duff Goldman. Anyways.
Fact.
All right. With that, I think we need to take 20 seconds so I can do this last screen.
Oh, okay. And then you're going to cut the stream.
Wow. Okay. I missed a whole bunch of things when I went to use the restroom.
Oh, I thought you had your wireless headphones and you could hear the whole thing.
No, I don't have wireless headphones anymore. I haven't had wireless headphones in a while. So,
okay.
Anyways, I got to stop streaming.